Welcome to our comprehensive guide on laboratory techniques and safety. Whether you're a student, researcher, or simply curious about science, understanding the basics of lab safety is crucial. Laboratories are places of discovery, but they also present unique hazards if proper precautions aren't followed. In this video, we'll walk you through essential safety protocols, introduce you to common laboratory equipment, and demonstrate best practices for handling chemicals and conducting experiments. By the end, you'll feel more confident and prepared to work safely and efficiently in any lab environment. Laboratory safety isn't just about following rules, it's about protecting yourself and those around you. Accidents can happen quickly, and even a small mistake can lead to serious consequences. That's why every lab has strict safety guidelines in place. These rules help prevent injuries, minimize exposure to hazardous substances, and ensure experiments are conducted without unnecessary risks. Remember, a safe lab is a productive lab. Let's explore the key reasons why safety should always be your top priority when working with scientific materials and equipment. One of the most important aspects of lab safety is wearing the right personal protective equipment, or PPE. This includes lab coats to protect your skin and clothing, safety goggles to shield your eyes from splashes, and gloves to prevent direct contact with chemicals. Depending on the experiment, you might also need face shields or specialized footwear. Always check what PPE is required before starting any procedure, and make sure your equipment fits properly. Proper PPE acts as your first line of defense against unexpected accidents. Laboratories are filled with signs and symbols designed to keep you informed and safe. These signs indicate hazards like flammable materials, corrosive substances, or biohazards. It's essential to recognize and understand these symbols before you begin any work. Familiarize yourself with the location of emergency exits, eyewash stations, and fire extinguishers. Knowing what each sign means can help you respond quickly in case of an emergency and avoid dangerous situations altogether. Dressing appropriately for the lab is another key safety measure. Avoid loose clothing, dangling jewelry, or open-toed shoes, as these can increase the risk of accidents. Tie back long hair and make sure your clothing covers as much skin as possible. The right attire not only protects you from spills and burns but also helps prevent your clothes from catching on equipment. Always check your lab's dress code before entering, and remember that safety starts with what you wear. Handling chemicals safely is fundamental in any laboratory. Always read labels and safety data sheets before using a chemical. Use the smallest amount necessary for your experiment and never mix chemicals unless you're sure it's safe. Work in a well-ventilated area, preferably under a fume hood, to avoid inhaling harmful vapors. If you spill something, follow your lab's spill response procedures immediately. Respecting chemicals and understanding their properties is essential for a safe lab experience. Glassware is common in labs, but it can be fragile and dangerous if mishandled. Always inspect glassware for cracks or chips before use, as damaged items can break unexpectedly. When heating glass, use appropriate holders and never touch hot glass with bare hands. Clean glassware thoroughly after each use to prevent contamination. If something breaks, notify your supervisor and dispose of the shards in a designated glass disposal container. Treat all glassware with care to avoid injury. Laboratories are equipped with a variety of tools, from simple beakers to complex analytical instruments. Before using any equipment, make sure you're trained and understand its operation. Follow the manufacturer's instructions and your lab's protocols. Never force equipment to work if it seems stuck or malfunctioning. Report issues to your supervisor. Regular maintenance and proper use of lab equipment not only ensure accurate results but also keep everyone safe from unexpected hazards. Fire hazards are present in almost every laboratory, especially when working with flammable chemicals or open flames. Always know the location of fire extinguishers, fire blankets, and emergency exits. Never leave an open flame unattended, and keep flammable materials away from heat sources. If a fire occurs, stay calm and follow your lab's emergency procedures. Practicing fire safety can prevent small incidents from turning into major emergencies. Many laboratory instruments require electricity, which introduces the risk of electrical shock or fire. Always inspect cords and plugs for damage before use, and never handle electrical equipment with wet hands. Make sure outlets aren't overloaded and unplug equipment when not in use. If you notice sparks, smoke, or unusual noises, stop using the equipment immediately and report it. Following these simple steps can help you avoid electrical accidents in the lab. Proper storage of chemicals is essential for maintaining a safe laboratory environment. Store chemicals in clearly labeled containers and keep incompatible substances separate. Flammable chemicals should be stored in fire-resistant cabinets, while acids and bases need their own designated spaces. Always keep storage areas clean and organized, and never store chemicals above eye level. Good storage practices reduce the risk of spills, leaks, and dangerous reactions. Disposing of laboratory waste correctly is vital for safety and environmental protection. Never pour chemicals down the drain unless instructed. Use designated containers for chemical, biological, and sharps waste. Follow your lab's disposal guidelines and never mix different types of waste. Proper disposal prevents contamination, protects the environment, and keeps everyone in the lab safe from exposure to hazardous material. Emergencies can happen unexpectedly in the lab, so it's important to know what to do. Familiarize yourself with the location of first aid kits, eyewash stations, and safety showers. Know the evacuation routes and emergency contact numbers. If an accident occurs, stay calm, alert your supervisor, and follow the established emergency protocols. Quick and informed action can make a significant difference in minimizing harm during an emergency. Accidents like cuts, burns, or chemical splashes can happen even in the safest labs. Knowing basic first aid is essential. For minor injuries, use the first aid kit and seek medical attention if necessary. For chemical splashes, rinse the affected area with plenty of water and remove contaminated clothing. Always report injuries to your supervisor, no matter how minor they seem. Prompt first aid can prevent complications and speed up recovery. Keeping your workspace clean and organized is a simple but effective way to maintain safety in the lab. Clean up spills immediately, return equipment to its proper place, and dispose of waste regularly. Avoid clutter as it can lead to accidents or make emergency exits hard to access. Good housekeeping habits create a safer, more efficient laboratory environment for everyone. Handling biological samples requires extra precautions to prevent contamination and exposure to pathogens. Always use gloves and, if necessary, face masks or shields. Work in designated biosafety cabinets when dealing with infectious materials. Dispose of biological waste in special containers and disinfect surfaces after use. Following these steps helps protect you and others from biological hazard. Fume hoods are essential for experiments that produce hazardous vapors or gases. Always check that the fume hood is working before starting your experiment. Keep your work at least 6 inches inside the hood and avoid blocking airflow. Never place your head inside the hood and keep the sash at the recommended height. Proper use of fume hoods protects you from inhaling dangerous substances. Accurate measurement and mixing of chemicals are crucial for successful experiments and safety. Use the correct measuring tools, such as graduated cylinders or pipettes, and double-check your calculations. Add chemicals slowly to avoid splashes or violent reactions. Always mix acids into water, not the other way around, to prevent dangerous heat buildup. Careful measuring and mixing help ensure both safety and reliable results. Proper labeling and documentation are essential for safety and organization in the lab. Clearly label all containers with the contents, concentration, and date. Keep detailed records of your experiments, including procedures, results, and any incidents. Good documentation helps prevent mix-ups, ensures traceability, and makes it easier to repeat or troubleshoot experiments in the future. Handling sharp objects like needles, scalpels, or broken glass requires extra caution. Always use tools designed for handling sharps and dispose of them in puncture-resistant containers. Never try to recap needles or pick up broken glass with your hands. Following sharp safety protocols helps prevent cuts, punctures, and potential exposure to hazardous materials. Cross-contamination can compromise experiments and pose health risks. Always use clean equipment and change gloves between different procedures. Avoid touching your face or personal items while working in the lab. Clean and disinfect surfaces regularly, especially when working with biological or chemical samples. Preventing cross-contamination ensures the integrity of your results and keeps the lab environment safe. Pipetting is a common laboratory technique, but it must be done safely. Never pipette by mouth, always use mechanical pipetting devices. Hold pipettes vertically and avoid forceful expulsion of liquids. Dispose of pipette tips properly and clean up any spills immediately. Safe pipetting protects you from exposure to hazardous substances and ensures accurate measurements. Sterilizing equipment and materials is essential in many labs, especially those working with biological samples. Autoclaves use high-pressure steam to kill microorganisms. Always load the autoclave correctly, avoid overfilling, and use heat-resistant gloves when handling hot items. Follow your lab's protocols for cycle times and temperatures. Proper sterilization prevents contamination and maintains a safe lab environment. Centrifuges are powerful tools for separating substances, but they can be dangerous if misused. Always balance tubes before starting the centrifuge and never open the lid while it's running. Inspect tubes for cracks and use appropriate safety shields. If you hear unusual noises or vibrations, stop the centrifuge immediately. Following these steps helps prevent accidents and equipment damage. Microscopes are delicate and expensive instruments. Always carry them with both hands, one on the arm and one under the base. Clean lenses with special paper and avoid touching them with your fingers. Store microscopes covered and in a safe place when not in use. Proper handling ensures the longevity of the equipment and the accuracy of your observations. Regular calibration and maintenance of lab equipment are crucial for safety and accuracy. Follow the manufacturer's schedule for calibrating balances, pipettes, and other instruments. Report any malfunctions or irregularities immediately. Well-maintained equipment reduces the risk of errors and accidents, ensuring your experiments run smoothly and safely. Working alone in the lab can be risky, especially when handling hazardous materials or equipment. Always inform someone when you're working alone and avoid high-risk procedures if possible. Keep emergency contact information handy and know how to reach help quickly. Taking these precautions ensures you're not left without assistance if something goes wrong. Spills can happen even with the best precautions. If a chemical spill occurs, alert others and follow your lab's spill response plan. Use appropriate spill kits and wear protective equipment. Evacuate the area if necessary and never attempt to clean up large or dangerous spills alone. Proper spill response minimizes harm and prevents the spread of hazardous substances. Reporting accidents, near misses, or unsafe conditions is essential for improving lab safety. Don't hesitate to inform your supervisor about any incidents, no matter how minor. Accurate reporting helps identify hazards and prevent future accidents. A culture of openness and responsibility makes the lab safer for everyone. Wrap up: laboratory safety is a shared responsibility that requires attention to detail and respect for established protocols. By wearing proper PPE, following safety guidelines, and staying alert, you can minimize risks and create a safer working environment. Remember to keep learning and stay updated on new safety procedures. Safe labs lead to successful experiments and discoveries. Thanks for joining us on this journey through laboratory techniques and safety.